Hey everybody, how's it going? Hello.
Do your kids be like trying to sleep in your bed and stuff?
Yeah.
At the same time, like the whole, I can't.
Who
I
do
don't
you?
want to share my husband with somebody else.
Oh, do you have? You're dating somebody that has a kid?
No, but I'm just saying, like when I do have kids, like that's why I feel like I want to be married for a certain amount of time before I have kids, because I want to be able to enjoy my partner without
It's a
like.
residency right now.
Yes.
If you look, Memory has again been a lifesaver.
It's
Oh
damn,
right,
let me turn it down.
And CV.
I guess it's good. It's at least coming.
Hey there, in today's video, we are talking about grant writing for beginners. So
Yes. So they do. They co-sleep. They're annoying, and we're kind of sick of it. I don't know what else is that. It kind of sucks. So I can't tell which one I have on here. Oh, I think it was my mom. Okay, I just have to use the bathroom. What's the scanning code for?
It was for this man that was in the student center.
Okay,
He's a consulting company, I guess.
okay.
But I really was went over there to talk because I really wanted a T-shirt, and then I kept listening to him because he was kind of cute.
Mm.
So I still don't really know what he do.
Is it for a job fair?
No, he said he wanted to like connect with student leaders on campus, and I guess I do count as a student leader because I'm an RA, I'm in the
Yes.
association, I'm in different
Yes, you
organizations.
do.
So I was looking at his card. He's like a life coach, a nutrition coach, and a consultant. I don't really know what consultant means, but I'm guessing that's for like entrepreneurial stuff. He said student consulting, business consulting, keynote speaking, and speaking training. So I was thinking like if I ever do connect with him, because he said he don't like making connections with people and then like not hearing from them. So I said,
Okay,
definitely
he's
hit
like-
the club.
He's selling stuff,
Yeah.
essentially.
So I was thinking like maybe if I have an RA program next year on like speaking or elevator speeches, maybe he could go speak for a little bit.
Right.
But he probably gonna want to get paid, and I don't have no money. Red Life don't have no money. So,
Right.
and this is an LLC, so I know it's his business.
So you don't know exactly what he sells.
No, it really just says Jameson Consulting Group. It says life coaching, nutrition coaching, student consulting, business consulting, keynote speaking, and speaking training.
Okay, so he does everything, like
Yeah.
life coaching and nutrition consulting. So he would make like a treatment plan for you.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. That's kind of fun though. Why does it want me to update software? I hate this. Why? It's probably Word. Microsoft Word keeps trying to get me to update. I drank too much coffee, so I was going to get this running and be right back.
Okay.
I always drink too much coffee, don't I?
so if this is something that you wanted to kind of dip your toe
That's for the
in,
final
cover
paper and Graham stock.
We're gonna be running through 5 major tips so that you kind of know, all right, this is actually something that I really want to go all in on and start to learn a lot more about professionally. Okay, so with that, we'll jump in. First things first, find your own project. Now, it does not need to be a huge project. Honestly, it's probably lost my marker. It's probably best if it's something that's like $20,000 or less. Just something that's manageable. One grant is all you need to do to get the whole thing funded. Now, I know you're probably really overwhelmed by the idea of approaching a nonprofit or someone that an organization you want to work with and be like, yeah, I'll write a grant for you, because you don't want to promise something you don't even know what we're doing, right? So I get that, I get the hesitation, but boy, do you learn so much more from just kind of a fire lit underneath you, and then you're getting some real world experience, and it's not all hypothetical. But if you really do not want to go that route, it's okay. We have an online course course where we actually provide a couple sample projects, so you can pick from those, or get matched up with someone else in the course, so it's real, but it's like their real project, not yours. So that's another way to do it. So there's ways to get around this, but the most important thing I really have to emphasize is really worth finding a real project so that when you're learning the concepts of grant writing, you're actually applying them. Okay, that's number one. Number two.
Oh, a life coach and a nutrition coach and a grants coach.
Managing a beginning, middle, and end of starting a grant, writing the sucker, and returning it. Like,
She in a tanning bed?
but it requires really good project management skills.
Does she have raccoon eyes or am I seeing
You're,
it?
have got deadlines, you've got lots of.
Yeah, she probably did.
So I want you to
Tanning
start
bed?
thinking about
I can
yourself
tell.
as a project manager, and how do you become a very disciplined project manager?
No,
Really,
she almost had to like
and
blend
a lot
the
of that
makeup
is
after
being
that.
intentional about it, and then being more mindful to process. Being like, okay, when I write it down.
And she has on a sports jacket with
Have I taken
jeans.
notes? Have I prepared?
I've never seen that before
Right, so
either.
just spend some time looking into learning more about project management, and your future self will thank you. Okay, number 3, step with love. Yeah, fake it until you make it.
Isn't that always the
Here's
truth?
that, honestly, even when you're an advanced grant writer, you're always pushing yourself into new terrain. And what we find is that it's just something is gonna intimidate you, something is gonna make you feel like you're so in over your head, you don't know what you're doing, that whole imposter syndrome, it just gets all up in your way, and you need to understand these normal, that's gonna make it. Just everything is figureoutable. I know it looks really bad from the outside, we haven't really gotten into it yet, but once you get started, you get some momentum, you're good to go. So, okay, then having a process mindset is really key. And I suppose this sort of ties into excellence in project management. But when we teach writing, we really emphasize like go through the steps, like organize your project folder so you know exactly where your information is at. Figure out what grants to go after in the first place. Let's find those 2 to 5 grants that you're going to pursue over the next 12 to 18 months, right? And then you've got like a process for how you actually pursue them and make sure you're putting out your best work. So it has a lot more process in it than you might realize. And if you take a process mindset and make sure that you're learning it to how to apply those processes, it's sort of like baking a cake. Like if you can bake a cake, you can follow a recipe, right? And if you can bake a cake one time, like you can do it again, right? So it's the same with grant writing. If you learn the fundamentals of how to do it, you can do it over and over and over again, and then take on increasingly complex recipes, right? Okay, last tip, also 7 love. Don't be stubborn. What do I mean by that? I know that for me, I was really stubborn about learning grant writing, and I wanted to do it all. Mostly I did it all by myself because there weren't any good options. So it really wasted a lot of time, years of learning everything, and then money, like lost grants, right? Thousands of dollars when you make mistakes. So be open and receptive to getting professionally trained in grant writing. It's going to short track that whole process by an enormous amount. So we have a program we'd like you to look at if you're considering this, and you're trying to help stubborn, have a good process. So it's called Grant Writing from Start to Funded. It's all about how you find grants, figure out the right ones to go after, and then have a process for pursuing them. And then you can become a grant writing unicorn, which is a lovely thing to graduate into. So anyway, you can check that link out in the description box below, but there's a bunch of other free resources as well to get you started. If you're still in this early phase of like, I don't actually know if I want to get into it yet, that's cool. Just go and evaluate it and see if it's right for you. But anyway, I hope you found that helpful as you're thinking about grant writing for beginners. Find a real project, commit to becoming a rockin' excellent project manager. Understand you're gonna feel a little uncomfortable, you're gonna fake till you make it. You're gonna have a process mindset so you can basically learn how to bake a recipe, bake a cake, bake a grant, time and time again. Don't be stubborn, get professionally trained. That's it for today. We'll catch you next time. Hit the like and subscribe button.
So I play this after having to go through paperwork for us to go to conferences today. Both Perdomo and myself and Nikita were all doing the paperwork to get funded to go on these conferences. Like she has to go to Toledo next Friday. I think it's $500 for gas and food. She's not staying overnight. We're going to Columbus. We're staying overnight. It's like, I don't even know how much. And that's just like the beginning. They have us fill out 3 different things. So here's the first one. Here's our travel packet. It was 11 pages. To show the conference that we're going to. We have 2 conferences in 2 months. Actually, Nikita's covering the 3rd because we both have to go to the same day, different conferences. So I don't know if you guys have had any paperwork processes with anything that you do. But look, yeah, we're even asking for more than what they give us because this one's far away. It's like mileage is 676. That means it's like 1,200 miles there and back to Virginia. Room is $960 because that's like 4 or 5 minutes. Conference registration is $500. So when you finish here and get into graduate school, it goes over and over and over. Here's another one we had to fill out. So this one is in Virginia, social and behavioral sciences. We had to have the fund code, the word code, $160 on meals, $676 transportation. I know it looks kind of easy, but for whatever reason, they seem to make it complicated. And then here's the last one I had to do yesterday. That's what. They want you to have like written up letter of intent and like what all you will be doing for the grant, what it would all look like. And you do have to be creative, so I had to come up with this off the top of my head. Usually you have to like meet like, what will we do with it? We'd like to use it to teach grant writing in class. We'd like to secure additional monies and funding for the social work program. That's how we got Jackson Jordan. Am I saying that wrong? Karen Jordan Johnson. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have her in class? Are you taking it next year? So we had to write an $82,000 grant for her. That was to the state of Ohio, fully fund her position, $52,000 a year, benefits of $18,000 a year, like the standard teacher payments that we all get. She gets $10,000 for like supplies and $5,000 for travel. That was a whole long drawn out process. So I just throw this together off the top of my head. Sometimes you feel like you are making shit up. That's why, like, I forget what her number 3 was, where she's like, just be open-minded, fake it till you make it. Because sometimes you're like, what am I applying for? What am I doing? What am I writing? And it does come clear, but like a lot of times when you're giving an ask for somebody with money, you have to write it very detailed. I know I shared this and gone through this with you guys before, but we wrote I want to say this was for $1 million at Lighthouse Youth Services to end homelessness in Cincinnati. This was forever. See, it's 78 pages. And they had me help edit. We proved there's a problem like total homelessness in Cincinnati and that it was getting worse. We then moved on to show like what Lighthouse did to serve homeless youth. We showed our little map and the areas we serve in Cincinnati, which was mainly these downtown ones, but it's spread out to all of Cincinnati. And then even adding like what would pay for. I know I put this up on D2Ls. I want you all to have like as many examples of like what a grant would look like as you can. Just like when you're creating your group. So you're in your own group. Some people write for a grant to make a mental health group in any city that you're in. Like there's funds available at grants.gov or like other places. Because all they have to do is print money. And they're like, here you go, here's $100,000. Like, what? How do you just print money and give it to somebody? But that's just how they've done it. And it's like, if they're printing it, I'm going to ask for it. So yeah, you need rationale and logic that shows how the program would work, what you would do. This was our history of like all the people that we served. I forget what you all led your groups on. So what would you be writing? It was like something with girl circles. Yours was the sex and STDs, and I bet there's money for that too. And then was yours related to girl circle a bit?
I was about, I don't think that's
No one would pay for it.
I feel like people would.
Yeah.
A lot of people, cause I feel like it's a
You just gotta be
difference
convincing.
between hearing and listening. A lot of people don't realize that. So I feel like it's a distinction. But it's
Where'd you all rose?
Oh, I was fine since then.
Is it real? Does it smell good? Nice. Yeah, so when you become a social worker and you find, well, for example, that grant for the Miami University Scholarship, they got $4.9 million showing there's a need specific to central athletics because there's a shortage of them and specific to like inner city populations. There's always a need.
they want to know something I learned.
Yes.
The reason why they don't do STD and STI testing on campus anymore, because when COVID happened, they lost their grant for it because all the money has to go towards COVID tests and stuff.
But good over now.
Exactly. So I feel like,
We could write a grant for it
yes, I feel like they should push for it.
Okay.
And I was going
to volunteer to do it.
to email the president and be like, what do you need from the student body for this to happen? Because I've been calling around, like, literally the closest place that you can get
Dayton.
is not even Dayton, Springfield. Well, I don't know if Dayton's in Springfield.
Right. I
But
forget where it is, but it's
still
far.
like 30 minutes away from
Right,
campus.
it's far.
It's nowhere in town you can go get tested because Warren County lost their grant as well.
That's
So,
crazy.
and I've been calling around in town to see if there was any like little loopholes and stuff,
Mhm.
but it's really not like there's no place close over here where people can get tested. And I feel like that's wrong.
It is.
And I feel like y'all know that, and like every place that I called is like, yeah, you're not the first person to call to ask this question. This is like the third phone call I had today about testing. Like people obviously need it in the area.
Yeah.
You have 2 schools over here. You have,
Yeah, there is. I
High
wonder if
schools
they're so
in town.
conservative, they would say they want to offer that as they don't want premarital sex or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's-
yeah, because
But-
they are a preference.
Or is our president also that way? I sometimes wonder, like, would he be like, well, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place or something like that. Dumb, like,
But I just feel like, because I wrote a paper on like the lack of resources at HBCUs. And that's one of the things that I talked about. Like, well, yeah, we can only treat people right now for what they think that they have, but it's like.
with an
I feel like
antibiotic or something.
yeah, so I just feel like that's preventative, but it's like, if I don't even have it, then why am I getting treated for it? You know?
Right,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
you
saying?
don't even know how
So
to
it's like,
test
you
for it.
can't even know for sure, like, you have
Right.
something totally different.
That is kind of crazy.
So I just feel like
Yeah.
they're not even pushing for it to happen, like,
Right, so it almost has to be like our grassroots efforts that we're
Yeah.
gonna be like, all right, then we're gonna write the damn grant, we're gonna offer this, we're gonna do it on the fly, and here's, maybe it's just to provide a take-to-home test for the students. That way you don't need like a medical facility or anyone to do it. It's just like home kit tests. I know not everything can be tested that way. They want blood tests, but if there are some things you could test for,
yeah, at least something.
yes, and like send out.
If
for.
not a full 10 panel, because I know they do HIV testing and stuff like that.
They do, because they can draw
But-
your blood here.
I think it's like saliva. think
Ooh,
it's
I didn't know
saliva.
that. I guess it is spread through.
Well, it's not spread through saliva, but they can test it through like body
Interesting.
fluids.
I always thought, yeah, it was, so it's only like semen, mucus, and blood.
Breast milk as well.
Oh, but not saliva. That is interesting. I wonder if that's, maybe it dies so quickly in your saliva that it doesn't spread. Like it doesn't have the nutrients.
But I don't know, because with STDs and STIs, like most women in particular are asymptomatic. Like, they wouldn't get
Carriers.
any-
They're just
they
like
wouldn't-
carriers,
They wouldn't
right?
get any symptoms. Like
Actually, I thought men also could be that, or maybe it's just that men don't
they
get them as
could,
often.
they could get symptoms.
Yeah,
Men are more likely to get symptoms, but women like it's less likely for us to get symptoms when it comes to like stuff like that.
yeah. That is weird though.
Which I feel like is super weird. Cause like when you grow up and you learn about sex health, it's just like, okay, don't have sex. Okay.
I know, right? Yep.
And
That's
it's
kind of what we
like,
got.
well, you're gonna be burning. A lot of people say like, oh, you're gonna be burning.
Right.
People having sex like, okay, well, I'm not burning, so I'm okay. That's not true.
It's a blood test they do at Central. They're writing it online. And probably blood can't test for everything either. Because I remember in the Cincinnati Health Clinic, they take a Q-tip first and they go, oh. Then that's a wooden one. Then they take a metal one and they go and like wring it out. It's like, oh.
And see,
And then,
for different things, and I know like, it's different ways to get tested, cause
okay, it's probably advanced since I would get tested in 1996. That was 25 years.
Because I know, like, when I got tested for the first time, they did like a pap smear.
Mhm.
So it was like a regular pap smear, and they
Right.
did it that way. But then, like,
Right.
the second time I went and got tested, they just tested my pee.
Right, so they probably have advanced
And
in
they
the
did a
ways they
little
can
saliva
search.
test for the HIV test. But it's like, I'm trying to stay on top of my sexual health.
Right.
They get tested every 3 months, and I can't even do that because I don't live out here.
Right, I know. And herpes is the
Can't get rid-
scariest.
Can't go to urgent care because I'm not from here, so I'm not a patient out here. I don't have a family doctor here.
Is your insurance on or something?
Yeah, but they can take my insurance, it's just I'm not a patient here.
Oh, I
Like,
see.
I have to be a patient to get.
I thought urgent care would take you.
And I thought urgent care would take you regardless of like
That's
walking in
weird.
or patient. That's the point of urgent care.
They're probably afraid of reimbursement screwing all that. So
Yeah.
they're like, no, we won't do that. So you gotta go to the emergency room probably, which would suck. Which is a hospital. It's in Dayton.
And I called the hospital and I was like, you guys are testing for STDs, HIV, and STIs. She said, at the hospital? I'm like, yeah, I got called the other clinic in the Xenia area.
So they
Man,
gave you like sarcasm.
yeah.
So maybe there's a
You're in
big
the You're in
grant.
the hospital, because like I know when I went to the hospital, I was having like spasm problems,
Mhm.
and the first thing they did was do a pregnancy test. So, bitch, if y'all can do pregnancy tests, y'all can give me a fucking STD test.
I
But
wonder if I just started with. So Wilberforce STD testing from $24, done in 10 minutes or less.
but if you click on it, it's like if you want the full panel, it's like $139.
So that's just for like herpes.
Well, it's good, probably, because then you can do it by each test too.
Here you go, funding for disease control and prevention, right here. And it is CDC. I want to see how you apply this. And then also Nacho. What the hell is nacho.org? What is that? So I see two here, Nacho and then CDC. I don't know. Maybe one would be local and one would be federal. All right, let's just click on it. And then what? Archive. I want to know archive. I want some shit that's current and regular, moving. Let's try it again. Let's try Nacho. I don't know why that sounds funny. Nacho STD. Here you go. So they call it gonococcal, enhanced gonococcal isolate. Grantsolutions.gov. That's some old shit though. It says 2017. That's old.
And you would think like sexual education would be something that is like continue to be important.
We're going up there next Friday to speak to the governor. I wonder if Ohio.gov has something.
And I could probably bring it up to NAACP too. Just to see if there's any way that they can get in contact.
Oh, that could be a good funding source too. God, why is this? Maybe I do have to go to grants.gov for some reason. It feels like you're getting the runaround, like you were saying. HAS, federal funding for HIV epidemic. That's still about a year old. Oh, it is. There it is. The same one that I kept sending. What take me? I'm gonna have to search when I get in here. It'll be like, now search what you want. HIV or STD. And then how do we rate this grant? Nothing. So yeah, including some of these into your paper. And yeah, if you want to take action on it, by all means, I like real life stuff. Like what are we going to do as social workers? And I'm just searching the HIV. So a lot of them are due. There's a couple in November. Perinatal. I don't know what perinatal is. Maternal infant health. Is that after? Comprehensive HIV syringe service program. Oh, they're doing that more from a heroin standpoint. Doing on August. HIV services and syringe. Is it always freaking heroin? There's so
The
much.
perinatal is probably like,
Afterbirth? During
yeah,
birth?
it's probably like when they like choose to breastfeed or not, when they know they have HIV. Because you could spread HIV to your baby if you breastfeed them and you have HIV.
This one's due in November. Disparities in underserved racial or ethnic populations, clinical trial optional to implement HHS. Hello.
Sorry, I'm very late. I had a meeting.
That's okay. How was the meeting? How was the meeting?
Trying to internships, trying to get my life together.
Oh, that's great, because you all literally have 1 year left. You will be applying to that Miami thing in November. Yeah? Did you already apply?
Hopefully. And you know what?
They got a lot of money.
I think we was talking. I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah. Lighthouse does have a Dayton office too. But would you need a car?
Right. I ain't got a car.
That's always like our transportation is the big one.
Yeah.
So when writing your final paper, we're mentioning grants and grants.gov, and if you'll add in funding. Hers was specific to HIV or STDs, and there is some monies. Doesn't say how much. That's weird. And then how to apply and covering like the grants that I have worked on and done before. The most recent being hiring Karen Johnson Jordan. So they gave us the full salary to hire her. State of Ohio Central didn't have to pay a dime. We were able to bring her on. That was $82,000. We have another grant on racial disparities in mental health. And this Lighthouse one, which was when I was a social work supervisor. But we always ask, like, why does it have to be a 10 or 12 page paper? And like, it's getting you ready for this stuff, which is like the crazy real world, but like going through all of the boxes to check and get you guys moving on. And the Miami grant, so that they got $4.9 million. They just found out 2 weeks ago. All that money goes to Central State graduates, which is like crazy. So it's supposed to be HBCUs, and we're the only public HBCU in the state of Ohio. I don't know where else there are HBCUs around here.
It's the only one.
KSU, is that the other one?
That's a fancy.
Kentucky State University is a HBCU in Frankfort, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then Simmons is a private, like Wilberforce is a HBCU. Simmons in Louisville, Kentucky is another one. So I don't think there's any like Indiana, Illinois, like north and west of us. I don't think there is anything. It's all to like the south and the east of us, I think. You guys might know better than I do. I don't know. How many HBCUs are there? Like 65?
So it's a lot. It's a lot.
But they're all in the south, right?
Yeah.
Like the old states like Maryland and like Virginia and like North Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yes, okay.
Mhm.
So that's why it would be a good option for creating our own MSW program, really. I know Miami wouldn't like that, but we'd like to create our own MSW. And maybe connected with Kentucky State University be the only two HBCUs in the Midwest to offer that stuff. So those are things you can add from work with and serve. Type them in. What was yours again? You said there might not be funding for it. Okay, so like maybe, and then if you frame it right, like counseling for HBCUs, you know, like make it local. Centers of Research Excellence in Science and Technology. Quest for information on barriers to reproductive health and family planning. That's not HBCUs, but I feel like the first ones seem to be the best. Like,
So we use this to find the topic for our paper.
well, no, you have your topic. This would be if you're looking to say you want to get paid for leading a group at your internship. And they're like, dude, we don't have any money for that. Okay, I will go ahead and find a grant and apply for it to create a position for myself.
So, but when I'm doing the paper, I'm just, because you said that we can do it on the presentation we just did for the group.
That's your group that you created, yes.
So
Yep.
I could do my paper basically on that, right?
Right, and then follow the outline.
So,
This is an addition to, like, if you would like to actually find funding and have boots on the ground and like hang the paper your group.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is just the part of what I'm talking
It is, right. Because like, how do we get, you know what I mean? Like, it begs $1 million question. Like, how do we get a good job? How do we get funding? How do we get money?
about.
Since the Affordable Care Act, they got so many from, like here, Health and Human Services, grants.gov for like social work, counseling, and because we can bill Medicare, Medicaid. So that's the important part to keep up with. This is interesting. Is NSF not safe for work? NSFW not safe for work. I wonder if, so here's, whoa, at least 300,000. Historically Black Colleges Undergraduate Program, National Science Foundation. So, they do have a lot for STEM. Have you ever noticed that? Science.
Still have a lot of.
Right. But I did like that one that said like Title 10, non-directive options, information, counseling, referrals, hotline support. So that would be listening. Counseling often is listening. You balance between like challenge, empathy, challenge them, empathy, challenge their beliefs and thoughts, have empathy for what they're saying. Like that sounds like a hard time you're going through, and then challenge like maybe a thought that's, because if you never challenge, you're a pushover, and if you never have empathy, you're an asshole. So if you can do both and have a middle ground, that's kind of how the formation of a good social worker and counselor. Is this for that money? Engineering, math, geosciences. Hey, social and behavior sciences. Dude, here's your grant right here for HBCU. $10 million. Must be submitted by HBCU that have faculty who conduct research in STEM or so just to give you guys like some examples, like typing in the hot button words that you led yours on, what would you say your topic was again for if you were to search on it, if you were to enter the keyword of your group you led to see if there's funding for it?
I did mine on.
Okay.
So just,
Maybe even mental health at HBCU. And then just kind of go where funding is, and you can cite this in what you guys are writing. And I am going blind. Oh, they got sustainability of mental health services for children with serious emotional disturbance, which obviously you can apply to that one too.
That was good.
I know, doesn't that look legit?
Sounds like what I was doing.
Right. And yes, it is a large document, like when you do apply, but like kind of working through it and figuring out what you're doing is your key. And then following all of your, did I ever have this one? 4202. Is our class 4202? Groups.
Sorry.
And then, yeah, if you follow your outline, that's going to be your key. And it's at the dead end of the syllabus. So, why is that so weird? I'm just going to make it full screen. And yeah, who are you serving? Why are you serving them? So like background. Like if you did overall big headings, like conceptualize your group, which you kind of already did. Now you're just putting into writing. So you've got your abstract, introduces the client population, primary problem, identifies significant psychosocial concerns, why you're serving them, overall scope, that's just a paragraph too, like go to scholar.google.com and get some relevant research. Again, type in your hot button words. You guys know how to cite from there, right? If I show you how easy it is to get stuff on Google.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Or do you want
I
to see?
see.
Okay.
I think it's
That's good. So I always go into and then let's say HBCU mental health. Like if that's one of the areas you're writing in, trying to do something. I always click like whatever the oldest one is here. Go back for you. So like 2019, get newer articles. When you guys start writing, you have to write shit in graduate school. I want to see the last 4 years. It's great to have a study from 1999, especially if it's like a foundational study. But if you can get stuff since, so help seeking behaviors of HBCU students by gender, classifications. That sounds like a lit review, just like why the need, how many people are looking for. This looks cool. COVID-19 academic performance and mental health of HBCU pharmacy students. Holy shit. And if you did cite this, here's where you click it. There's APA right there. You click cite, there's your APA. You copy that to the end of your paper, alphabetize, and you're good. It makes it easy as pie because it's like, I didn't know I could write my references that easy. I wonder if we ever, on ours specifically, if we called our article about HBCUs, because we wrote about what Dr. Hunt does over here. We didn't. I guess we should have put that in the titles, and it would come up on this. We didn't. That's a bummer. And if you cite us, there's APA for us. I wish we had said it was a case study about HBCUs because it would come up on that search. So if you write your papers, I just recommend using this stuff because it's, I don't know, it's easy, like you hit cite and you just copy it. And then if it's got a full text article right here, as if it's on that side of the screen. There you have it. And you can download it and save it to your folder or print it out. Some people highlight them. What is Amazon News? Mental health needs of historically Black colleges and universities. Huh. So any questions on that? I'm just trying to give you guys how you write it, how you cite it, how you cover each paragraph. Like the first thing, abstracts a paragraph, overall scopes a paragraph, your psychosocial concerns or themes. That's a little longer. You could have 3 paragraphs. I hate when this does that. Just close that stupid thing. And that means like discuss the broad range of psychosocial concerns, themes associated. Like if you have bad mental health, there's school shootings, there's things that go on, consequence of the primary problem. Students discuss, make 3 to 5 different references. So again, going back to scholar.google.com and find something. This is only a paragraph or 2. From your understanding, the range of psychosocial concerns or themes related to the primary problem discussed in previous section, select several of purposes for developing a social work group. Explain the rationale. And this helps you for the grant writing too. They're going to ask you all the same stuff when you write a grant. Like, what's the population served? What's the need? How many would be served? What's the benefit? What's the shit that happens when you don't do it? You know, like what's the bad stuff? And that's right here, benefits of group work.
It's easy.
If you follow the directions, I know it's sometimes, it looks overwhelming because it's like, but if you did 1 or 2 of these each day until it's due, you would be done early, not on time.
Okay, I think I got it now.
And you could even cite your book. Look at that. Hey, type of group proposed. That's on the Toastland and Rebus book, page 22. Overall purpose of the group, common goals of the group, ideal membership composition. Maybe it is like kids your age or adults your age or children 18 to 19. I guess you're an adult then. Kids 12 to 17. How you going to recruit for the group? Because that's another thing. Like if you're running something, you got a business. If you can't get out there like this dude, she got all this stuff from the dude handing out like life coaching, diet coaching. What else did he do? And he was handing out all his info at the student center, I think.
Oh.
If you don't recruit for what you offer, you won't make any money. Duration of the group, usually they're 10 to 12 weeks. Activities planned for the group, that's, you can cite Girl Circle. How you end the group, how you evaluate it, and then comment. So 8 to 15 pages, get your APA on. That's all. Any question?
Did you
I know it's
did you redo my presentation?
Mhm.
Yeah, you think I need to add?
For your honors thing. I like that. Sometimes you can tell if I read it or not right. I wonder if students say like, grant access to this person. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll get it and they can tell if I looked at it or not, is it'll be like, I don't have access, so I gotta write back like, dude, give me access to this. I like it, you don't have access, so I gotta write back like, dude, give me access to this. I like it, you can certainly add, you can build on that. The food apartheid and a food swamp. Did you know that's what Nikita's presenting on next week? Are you okay if I share your presentation with her to say, look, we're even having students get involved? Are you okay if I share your presentation with her to say, look, we're even having students get involved?